the reality? What's the reality?
Hey, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of What's the Reality? It's me, AD, and today I have two lovely guests from Love is Blind Season 9 joining me. I have Ali.
Hi.
Hello, and I have Madison.
Hi, AD.
Welcome to What's the Reality?
Thank you.
Y'all look so cute.
So
Thanks for having us.
I'm happy to have you guys. Okay, so how are y'all feeling now that the whole season is finally out?
I think
Right.
it's the best way.
Right.
Like, it kind of, feels like a chapter is kind of closing, and I'm feeling a lot of clarity and just kind of closure and just
I
peace.
feel that.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with her. It's nice to actually be able to talk openly about everything now and have the world know all the things instead of just our own little group of friends. So
Yeah. Okay, so catch me up. What has the past year been like for each of you?
I have been in pursuit of my degree, so that's really taken up a lot of my time. I'm still in Denver. However, I'm not working nights anymore, so that's a big shift.
Yay, our girl is free.
I am a real human
Yes.
now. So yeah, back on a normal sleep schedule, and I'm actually working with aesthetic dermatology. And one of the big comments I've gotten is like, "Oh my gosh, Ali, you're so different. You look so different." It's like, yeah, it's the job doing its job,
Yeah.
So it's been nice.
I love it. You do look amazing.
Thank you.
And what have you been up to?
The last year has been incredible. I got really involved with the Foundation Fighting Blindness, my nonprofit that I volunteer with. I just became the president of the Colorado chapter, which is really exciting.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm still a UX UI designer and living in Denver-ish still. So
What does that mean?
I'm just south. So I'm
Okay, I'm like, I
one
thought
of
there
the
was
burbs.
some tea in there. I'm like,
No.
you're in and out. Okay,
No,
we'll get
more like the
there.
burbs.
Don't
We'll
you
get
worry.
there.
We'll
And
get there.
and I'm single still, but
Okay.
happily single.
Okay,
feeling
letting
good.
us know early.
Yep. Yeah, in case anybody wants to know.
Oh, period.
Set me up with your brothers. No,
You
but
heard it
really.
here first. Okay, so I'm always excited to hear how people end up on the show. Did either of you apply, or were either of you scouted? How did your stories begin?
Mine was a little bit of both. Initially, it was friends telling me to do it when they saw that I was coming to Denver. And then I had a few different, what are they called? People that reach out to you on Instagram.
Casting
Managers
agents
or whatever.
something?
Yeah. A couple of them reached out and I was like, actually, I already applied, but thanks so much. So it was validation that
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
maybe this is something I should do. And that's where it started.
Cute. What about you?
I've always been a Love is Blind fan, but I actually did not know that they were coming to Denver. And I was talking to this guy, and he messaged me on Instagram, and he's like, LOL, look at this DM I just got. And it was about Love is Blind. And he's like, I would never do this. And I was like, I would.
Right.
So I messaged the girl on Instagram because I was on super private. So
Yeah.
nobody, unless you were following me, could message me. So I just messaged her and was like, hey, I don't know if I'm the kind of person you would want for this, but I'd love to talk to you. And
Yeah,
the rest is history.
that's so funny.
that.
Do you ever talk to that guy that sent you that?
No, ironically, that was the last time we talked.
Yeah.
It was
his
fate.
purpose.
Yes,
Right,
exactly.
that
It was
was.
fate. It
That's
was,
so funny. That's probably his claim to fame. I sent her the DM.
I'm sharing
So
that
funny.
story, to be honest.
Oh, well, now look at you.
Look at me now.
Okay, thank you, friend.
Yes.
So what has it been like for each of you watching yourselves back on TV?
It's been a little surreal.
Yeah.
It's been a little weird. Definitely eye-opening. I think there's parts of this in my story that I can learn from and really kind of reflect on. It's just so surreal, going on TikTok and opening it and just seeing people reacting to me is very strange. I even found myself watching the show and almost dissociating, not
Yeah.
thinking about it being me. So it's been a really bizarre experience,
Yeah.
but really cool.
Did you watch the whole show?
I have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I know a lot of people go on and they're can't even bear to watch.
That's me right
You
now.
haven't watched the whole thing yet.
I'm skipping scenes. Certain scenes I'm just I'm sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
you're
it's
I know
too
what
much
happened
right
here.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have the insight from knowing each other, but watching it, I started to realize, oh my gosh, some of these girls are really going through it, including obviously Madison, But yeah, I think for me at times it's felt like a distant version of myself. I've gotten a lot of comments on my voice, so now I'm purposely trying to talk
Oh, no.
lower.
You have the sweetest voice.
And I was I'm so sorry, guys. I was just nervous. It's just the
Yeah.
cameras and the lights and all the things,
Yeah.
But yeah, a part of it doesn't feel like you, and a part of you is
Agreed.
what the heck?
or like just watching a conversation where I'm like, well, you should have seen the first 20 minutes of that and you'd understand where I got there, you know?
Yeah. Is it hard to know that it's been edited and kind of like chopped up and then presented in a way that maybe wasn't how it happened?
I think we knew what we signed up for.
Yeah.
It's weird to see how it finally played out and to like sometimes have to answer questions in the past about like episodes that we hadn't seen. That was hard.
Yeah.
But I think now that, you know, we have had a chance to watch everything, the narrative makes sense. You know, like the parts that were shown, it makes sense. And I think all the storylines did what they were like meant to do, which was entertain, you know.
Well, and honestly, to that point, like, I think that Love is Blind really does do a good job of capturing the essence of what a conversation was. Like, that's something that I noticed where I'm like, ultimately, you got exactly what was coming from that situation. You know, like there was never a point that I was watching it being like, I got a bad edit on that. Like, it was like, no, like in general, that was kind of the essence of what I was feeling, what he was feeling. Would I have liked there to be maybe some more context? Yes. But in general, I do think that this show does a good job of capturing the essence of both the people in the scenes. So when people are like, oh, I got a bad edit, I'm like, blame it on the edit, huh, babe? You only said it.
Yeah, it only goes so far.
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
I understand that all too much. Ali, let's go back to the beginning with you. So I feel like your connection with Anton wasn't really showcased as much during the pods. Are you upset that the viewers didn't get to see more?
In a way, yes. I think as like the story develops, you got a little bit more of a glimpse into like our connection and what we both wanted. But yeah, it definitely would have been helpful to have people know like, hey, we did discuss ethics and
To not be
values.
engaged on the first day.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we did discuss, you know, like what our lifestyle would be like. We talked about money. We had all those very serious conversations. And they weren't showed. So then, like Madison said, it's the context that lacks sometimes. But in general, you know, I think our story developed in like a really story-like way. And I think, yeah, context would have been helpful, but I'm not upset at how it played out.
Did you have any other connections that we didn't get to see?
I did, yeah. So that was actually a question that I asked when things were like pre-airing. They were about to announce cast. I asked them, you know, what connections were going to be shown. I really only had one other that I was upset about for like a certain period of time, and that was with Patrick. Which another wrench in like that story, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I too spoke with Patrick and I let Patrick have a piece of my mind.
Yeah, no, same. Same.
Is there like, what do you mean you let him have a piece of your mind?
Like it was just some communication stuff and like the way he was talking to me, and it's like I was exhausted, and then he said something and I was like, you know what, do better, and I left. You know? So it's not like anything crazy. It's just kind of like, you know, it's messy, like lots of tangled webs.
So I've been hearing.
Yeah.
So we have to talk about your reveal.
Yeah.
What was going through your head when you saw Anton for the first time?
I thought he was very attractive when I first saw him. Obviously I said yes to, you know, being engaged to him and felt like I loved him at that point. But that moment really kind of solidified to me, or for me, when I met him. And when I saw him in person, I was like, holy shit. Like, holy shit. Like, that's actually my husband. Like, I'm actually getting married. And so I was very happy at the reveal.
Did you ever realize in the moment that he actually never proposed to you at the reveal?
He did, though.
He did?
Yeah.
What happened?
I guess it was cut.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah. And that has been a comment, actually.
Did you get your ring?
I did. Yes.
That day at the reveal?
Yes. He got down and we did the whole thing. And when he got down on a knee, he froze. And I was like,
oh,
come on, honey. Like, say something. And so he was kind of just like staring into like, you know, me up for a little bit. And then I just like put my hand out and I was like, okay, come on, like, let's put the ring on it. But I think the reason you don't see it in the reveal so much is because we did do my right hand, which is custom in Brazilian culture to get engaged on the right hand, move it to the left when you're actually married.
okay.
And so I don't know if that was cut because it kind of would have been confusing for viewers to see the ring on the right hand, but yeah, he did propose.
Okay, so you did have your moment.
Mm-hmm.
Aw. How did you feel when you were waiting for him to look back and he just poured himself another Glass of champagne. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did. I think there was like a very little glimpse of like head
Yeah.
tilt
Uh-huh.
at that scene. And I think you can see a little bit in my eyes that I was like, Anton, what the heck, man? Like, because we were at my side of the wall. And so I was just standing there watching him walk back. And I was like fully expecting, because all the other reveals in
Like,
every other
bye,
season.
see you, babe.
Right. I was
Yeah.
like, you're catching like every last glimpse that you can. And I'm
Yeah.
like, hello.
Savoring the
Aw.
moment.
I just
Yeah.
felt really dumb. I was like, why? I felt manly. I was like,
Yeah.
why am I the one looking
Standing,
at him?
yeah.
And he's like not turning back to look back at me. And I was like,
So he never turned around. That's all
okay.
real.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
did not turn around.
Did he ever say anything about that after? Like, after watching it, was he like,
No, I honestly, me and him have like not really communicated.
oh,
He said, just sent like a really nice, just like, how are you feeling with everything text? And like, it was very short, and that was all we've had.
so in the real world, it started to become clear that you two had different views on money. For example, you were surprised to learn that he spent $5,000 on your engagement ring. Were finances something that you guys discussed in the pods?
Yes, we definitely talked about finances, but to clarify, he did not spend his own money on the ring.
Yes.
That was all Netflix
Yeah.
provided.
I was very surprised by that comment. I was like,
Yes.
Anton, what?
And again, I talked about this at the reunion a little bit. So many of the conversations we had were so lighthearted. It wasn't actually like, spend more money on me, like get me a bigger ring. Obviously, I would have loved a bigger ring. I don't know any woman that wouldn't have, and to have him like pick a ring out of just a set of displayed rings, it wasn't my ideal ring, and I think that's fair.
That is fair.
I don't think like necessarily the price point is something that I would have been super concerned about. But in that lighthearted conversation, definitely like came off that way. And so many of our conversations were like, I want a private chef, I want this and I want that.
Yeah.
Where again, I was like trying to keep things light and get him talking and like get him to connect and open up and be at ease. That I guess it kind of goes in that sense a lot of the time. So
Yeah, it seemed to be a lot of you guys' like discussions when we did get to see you guys. It was about how to like morph your life together, almost like financially.
yeah.
But we saw you guys argue about his drinking as well.
Mhm.
Were there any issues that the two of you guys had about his drinking that were not on camera?
I don't remember anything specific. I think that was really our big discussion, was the one that was on camera.
Yeah.
In regards to the drinking, we had other discussions off camera, but regarding drinking, that was really the main one.
So, okay, I have a question then. Like, how was what we saw with the like mimosas for breakfast?
Yeah.
Was that a regular thing, or was that just like, did he really often come home at like that early in the morning and have beers and?
Yeah, his typical, which, aside from like the drinking, health is important to me. And that was very much explained in the pods to him, regards to exercise and healthy eating and everything surrounding that. He was having fast food almost every day. He was coming home from his night shift and drinking 2 or 3 beers every morning. And when he's working, 5 nights a week, and that's kind of your norm, you're drinking 5 days a week, and then you're drinking potentially on the weekends when you go out with your friends. Like, that's an
and then
issue.
bringing you into it as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, that's a problem. Like, if you're drinking every day, that's a problem. It doesn't matter if it's 1 drink, 2 drinks, like, it's an issue. It's not healthy. It's not good for you long term. It affects the quality of sperm. So if that's something that like I'm considering to be a life partner and be the father of my kids, absolutely not. Like, that wasn't a negotiable for me. And he obviously found that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick, fast, in a hurry.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about the wedding day. It was really sweet to see all of your sisters come and support you on your wedding day, even the one that didn't approve too much. How did that make you feel?
I was very aware that she didn't approve. There were a lot of conversations that were had on and off camera to get her there. Ultimately, I was just happy that she was able to show up for me. If she wouldn't have been there, I probably wouldn't have gone through with the wedding. I don't think I could have. But she did, decide to come, and like you saw, it was like a really sweet moment. It was the first time I had seen her in a little bit. So that's really all I could have asked for from her, is just the support of being there.
I had my sisters there too, so I
Yeah.
know that feeling. At what point did you know you were going to say no at the altar?
So I had a conversation with Anton about a week prior to the weddings. And I told him, I was like, I don't see myself saying yes at this point. Like, and I explained to him, like, we went through the whole conversation. Unfortunately, this was off camera. We went through the whole conversation of, like, I don't feel like you're yourself. I don't feel like you're the person I met in the pods, and kind of laid everything out, right? He's like, yeah, that's fair. I understand. And actually, something that you don't see at the wedding is at the altar, when I was like explaining myself to him, he goes, that's fair. When I said, like, you're not the man I met in the pods, he literally said, that's fair. And I'm like, yes, we discussed this. This isn't news.
Yeah.
But I think to me, really what I wanted to do with the wedding and with having everybody there was trying to feel like at ease. I felt like in the moment of, like, you're at the altar with, you know, your spouse or your future spouse and who's meant to be like your partner, I felt like that altar moment should have been like a comfort and like a wave of just like refreshing and calmness, and it wasn't. And that really was like my no, you know, because up until then, like, I was in the bridal seat and I was like, yes or no, you know? I was like, it's probably a no, but like, what if? You know?
You never know until you get to the end.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's like really encouraged too, is like, see it through. You know, like, you had a connection with this person, you fell in love with them, you went through all this experience, see it through. And that's really what I tried to do.
After you said no, we saw that one of Anton's family members called you a cold-hearted bitch. How'd that make you feel?
I don't know who that was.
That stood out to me
but
too.
like, she can DM me, like, let me know your thoughts, girl. But
actually, I do know who that was.
Do you?
I met her on Anton's pontoon last summer. It's one of his like good girlfriends.
Okay.
Oh,
I didn't know who this person was, but whatever, you know, like, I
Did you say
understand.
anything to her? Wait, how did you know it was her that said that?
Because I recognized her on the show. Like, when I
Did you have
saw the
pictures
show
together?
back. No, I didn't have pictures together with her, but just when we were there, because we talked a lot. You know, there was a lot of us like on the pontoon.
Is that when you met Daria?
Yes.
On the 4th?
No, that was a different time.
Okay.
The pontoon was a different day, and then I went out with friends. But yes, that was so random too.
My roommate.
Well, okay. So she calls you a cold-hearted bitch.
Yeah.
And you see that for the first time on TV.
Yeah.
How are we feeling?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't pleasant.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't feel like I am a cold-hearted bitch.
That was hard to
Like,
watch.
I don't think any person around me that's in my group thinks that. It is what it is, you know, like, she obviously cares for Anton, and that's fair. Like, if that's how she felt, then she just expressed that.
Yeah.
But I was very hurt too at the wedding, or, you know, post altar. They popped champagne when I left the altar, and they didn't show that, which, you know, I'm walking away, I'm like crying my eyes out, I'm like hardly able to walk straight. My mom is guiding me, my friends and sisters are all around me, and they're like popping champagne and like cheering in the background, and I was like, that is so disrespectful. And for Anton to allow that to happen too, like, immediately after that, seeing how distraught I was leaving the altar, I felt like that was just vile.
Yeah.
And I think hearing that cheering and all that stuff going on really kind of made me be like, I don't care to have a conversation with him, you know, in this setting. And then it just kind of dragged, and we never had anything after.
Do you think there's anything that could have been done differently to make it work between you two?
I think if he would have been able to be his pod self in real life, our chances would have been a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of commentary about him wearing his seeing glasses on the top of his head as sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to make a comment on that?
Honestly, it was never something that I really like
When
paid attention
when the doors
to.
open and he was like,
He like squinted.
Oh, poor Anton.
I mean, the man needs to see, so he should have had his glasses on.
I actually
But-
talked to him about that the other
you?
day.
did you? What'd you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah, he was like, I'm going to be so real, Madison. I got so nervous. I forgot they were even on my head.
Oh my
And he was
gosh.
like, God
That's
damn, why can't I
fair.
see? And then we were also talking. He's like, I think I also wanted to put my best foot forward, and I
Oh,
felt a little
yeah.
insecure
Yeah.
in my glasses. And
Oh.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
He had like the very thick rimmed glasses
Yeah.
too. I'm like, hi.
Oh.
So I get it. I get wanting to not wear them in that moment.
I think he really just forgot, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I really think he was so nervous.
It seems to be a part of his personality
He
to
does that
like
a lot.
put them up there. Yeah.
Yep.
And I do, he was extremely nervous during the entire reveal.
Yeah.
Which is part of
That's
him.
not an easy thing at all for anyone.
It's,
yeah.
right. Like we get used to the cameras and everything in the pods. But in the reveal, it's like cameras swishing up ahead and like there's so many people there. The lights are so much brighter and it's like this whole different intense thing. So
Okay. So we're not holding that against him.
No.
Okay. All right. I guess I'll move on.
Yeah. There were other things that like were a little bit icky to me, but yeah, the glasses weren't necessarily
What was icky?
that. Well, the flip-flops to show up in Baja was a thing. I didn't love that. I don't think
Why do men
men
have toes?
Yeah,
Why?
I don't think men toes should
I don't
ever
want
be
to
conversations.
Put the dogs away.
Okay. So the toes out.
Oh my gosh, it's dogs. That's I said pigs.
Piggies.
Pig-
same
Piggies,
thing.
yeah.
Oh,
you could
okay,
say
it can
piggies
be
or like
yeah,
dogs, yeah.
Okay, nice.
But
I thought I said it wrong last night. Okay, good.
Same diff.
Okay. Yeah, so flip-flops, not it for guys. And then, I don't know, he has like this strange walk, like not to nitpick him, but like he walks with his booty kind of tucked in. Like,
I can picture the Anton walk.
yeah,
I can picture it.
it's
Jesus.
it's almost like his upper body doesn't move enough to match like his gait. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, but obviously it's just like we all have those little quirks.
Yeah.
you
And if you're
know?
going to marry somebody, you got to
Yeah.
be able to at least take how they walk.
Yeah, I have
Yeah. At the
quirks.
very least, you have to be okay with that.
Right.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Understandable. Listen, it's to each their own ick. I'm not going to
Yeah.
judge you. Yeah. I feel you. Because if you're walking weird around me, get away.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you.
Mhm.
Okay. Madison.
Hey,
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I am good.
Okay. You look good.
Thank you.
You're going to have to help me with the name of your eye condition.
Yeah.
But you bravely opened up about how personal your experience has been with, and it's called retinitis
Pigmentosa.
pigmentosa.
Yeah, you almost said
Okay.
it. That's perfect.
Which could eventually cause you to go completely blind. What was it like sharing that publicly? And did you have any hesitation about bringing that up in the pods with the men?
Sharing it publicly was very scary. You know, it's honestly, when I was diagnosed, it was something that I held close to my chest for a long time. I felt a lot of shame around it because it's kind of this feeling of like all of a sudden I'm not normal in my mind. And I was in denial for a good like 3 years before I started digging into it, getting support, and started learning that monsters are scarier in the dark. So as soon as you can learn about it, shed light on it, it gets a lot less scary. So really, that was the first time that I had spoken my truth in such a public setting with so many people around. At that point in time, the only people in my life that knew were my friends and family, and then the organization that I'm involved with. So it was really an intense moment. You know, it was really scary to come forward with that. I was nervous about bringing it up in the pods too. I didn't really know how to go about it. And it's interesting because you see in that conversation with Joe and I, when I do bring it up, I wasn't anticipating to say that. Like, he's like, yeah, like, what's wrong with you? And like the fact that my brain goes, I know what's wrong with me. Like, I have this eye condition, you know, and it was hard. Another one of my pod dates, actually, we were playing like, would you rather? And one of the questions was, would you rather go deaf or go blind?
Oof.
And that was like a moment that I was
Yeah.
like, well, actually, you know, so in general, it's historically been hard for me to talk about, but now it's been so amazing to see so many people's stories resonate with mine. And I've had over 500 DMs of people saying that they have it or their family member has it, and seeing my story really inspired them. And it's like, that means so much, and it goes so much deeper than just being on a show.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. So in your previous dating like history before Love is Blind, were you open about that, about your condition with people that you were dating casually, or did you kind of wait till it was a bit more serious to drop your news?
Yeah, you know, I would say I don't date casually. Like, I usually am like, I'm looking for my man, you know? So it's kind of,
right?
yeah, it's the kind of thing that I really just come out with. Like, and honestly, it kind of shows for itself. Like, oftentimes if I'm meeting somebody at a bar or a restaurant and it's like dimly lit, they'll see me run into things. And, or it's like if we go to a
Really?
concert. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've literally been kicked out of a concert because I fell downstairs and they thought I was drunk. And I wasn't. I just couldn't see the stairs.
Oh, no.
Sue them.
I know, truly.
know.
So, you know, if it doesn't show for itself, I try to bring it up early because oftentimes I actually need help navigating certain spaces.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh, we were constantly backstage, like, where's
Yeah.
Madison? Somebody grab Madison.
Yeah. Oh,
Really?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Like when we'd come in from outside and
Yeah.
it's dark in there, I had to have somebody hold my hand because I will run into things. My eyes take a lot longer to adjust going from bright light to low light. And then when they do adjust in low light, peripherally, I don't see very well at all. It's kind of like tunnel vision.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's only going to progressively get worse.
Yeah. Yeah. It is degenerative. So it should kind of keep progressing. It has seemed that I've been semi-stable, slight decrease year over year, not quite as accelerated as it was from, I think, like 14 to 25 when I really saw intense decrease. But it's so hard with RP because every case is so different. So, I know people that are 70 and they still have some vision. I know people that are 18 and have never driven. So it's such a spectrum. Blindness is such a spectrum.
Girl, you
That's
are a warrior
terrifying.
for real.
Thank you.
Because you literally, like, if you don't share your story, you don't
Yeah.
know, and you're just walking around like a
Yeah.
ray of light,
Thank
smiling
you.
through everything, and we would have never known. So
Thank
it's really
you.
one brave of you to come out on national global TV and discuss that, and then be like a kind of soundboard for people that are going through that. So it's really beautiful.
Thank
and
you so much.
thanks
Yeah,
for
it
sharing
is.
that.
I mean, it's an invisible disability, and it is something that people are like, you're not blind, or I'm like, no, I'm not, but I'm blinding.
Yeah.
So it's so amazing to be this much needed representation for this community.
Oh, you're doing great.
Thank you, Edie.
So let's talk Joe a little bit.
Oh, my favorite topic.
Fun. So what was it about Joe that made you fall in love with him in the pods? And did you have any other connections that the show did not show?
I did have other connections that the show did not show. I actually went, that ended like early. I actually went to proposal day with 2 people.
Oh.
Yeah, the other person is not shown, and that is what that is.
Yeah.
But ultimately, me and that other connection both had a stronger connection outside of each other. So it was kind of like a mutual, like, we'll be friends. Thank you for being part of this kind of farewell. What attracted me to Joe in the pods, honestly, he was actually my number 5 on day 1. He slowly
That's
climbed the
typically
ranks.
how it happens.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. They said the first day you're like, ew. why are you
Waiting in the
talking?
wings.
Yeah.
The first
But
day's a lot.
it is a lot.
Yeah, it is.
But he kind of climbed the ranks for me. What it was he was so consistent in the pods. I want to make sure that's very, very clear. Consistent in the pods. And he was very adamant about showing up for me. Like, he was very clear, like, you're it for me in here. I'm ending my other connections. I want to see this through with you. So, just feeling that, kind of being chosen feeling, like it's something we all want, right? And hearing that and feeling that made me feel like, wow, like I really found my person. Like, this person's so pursuing me. I want to feel this through.
Yeah. How did it feel seeing him at the reveal?
I'll never get the deer in headlights look out of my face. The doors open. It's just like bug eye. The reveal itself, I felt in that moment something was a little weird. I was still trying to pull the connection and the warmth and the depth from the pods to that moment. And I felt like I was like, I don't know, like trying to like wrangle a tiger. Like, it was like he's just kind of bug-eyed and like kind of like
He's all
darty.
over.
Yeah, like darting eyes, like it is a little weird. So I think I was trying to bring the grounding energy, and I just was not feeling that back. Watching back his interview obviously tells me a lot more. Very disheartening, but
Yeah. Even like when you guys got to Mexico, Joe made some very hurtful comments about your body in an interview.
Yeah.
He did apologize to you about this at the reunion. Do you really accept his apology?
I accept his apology just so that it no longer poisons me. I feel he has had 1.5 years. He has my phone number. He knows
That was your
where-
first apology.
That was the first apology. So we hadn't talked literally since, well, really we hadn't talked about filming since filming, except for one little interaction. And then I've seen him at various, events, but it's not like we got into anything. So do I accept it? Yes, just because I no longer need to carry the weight of his words, but it's a little too late. Like, that scene in Home Alone when Kevin's going upstairs, he's like, I'm sorry. And the mom's like, too late. Kind of same vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did it feel watching it?
it was more disturbing than I anticipated. You know, I talk about how behind the scenes he had kind of said to me like, oh, like my type is a little bit more petite. And that triggered something in me that ultimately kind of led to me having an eating disorder for a period of time during filming, and then for a time after. I'm healthy now, but watching it back and seeing just how careless he was with his words, it was really hurtful. And, you know, it kind of restirred that in me a little bit. And I kind of had to settle back in and be like, nope, like we are healed past this. We are beyond this. It was really hard to watch. You know, it's worst case scenario. Like the person that you fall in love with isn't attracted to you. And it's like,
and then is mean about it.
yeah.
My thing is like, you don't have to be attracted. You don't have to like the person behind the, like what you see. You don't have to, but don't be mean about it. And I felt like you said, it was very like careless and like it was mean.
It was mean. And he like kind of made it into a joke. Like he's like, oh golly, even that sounds bad. And it's like I'm a real person, you know, like this was deep. And the thing that's so hard for me is that, and confusing, is that he's saying these things, yet we're intimate. And it's funny because the show has me talking about that a lot. And I think they were trying to drive home the fact that he was saying one thing and doing another. And I felt so confused throughout the whole experience.
Yeah, I think that was confusing for us as well.
Yeah.
That was very interesting.
He just comes across like a boy. Like everything that I see is like boy. Like there's
frat
no
boy.
man in there yet. And maybe that man has developed in the last like however long. But
I can't speak to that.
I haven't had it, you know, interactions with him either. But yeah, everything that came across was just like, that's a boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's talk about the infamous fight in Mexico. Can you walk me through what happened from your perspective? Like, was there anything we just did not see? Because there's a lot of
stuff happening.
Hell? Yeah.
To answer that, let me go back to the pool party.
Yeah.
So going to the pool party, you know, it's our first time as a couple in a group setting. I was excited to kind of show up and be like, you know, this is my man, have him be like, this is my girl, you know, see the other couples. Like, I think that we want to show up with our partners and feel a sense of like pride.
Yeah.
Exactly. And when we got to the pool party, as soon as the boys showed up, it was like Madison who. And, you know, throughout that whole pool party, I'm feeling really dejected. I think that in relationship, there's kind of bids for connection. And you see me consistently trying to have a bit of connection with him and it be kind of denied. And so from that whole thing, I'm already just so frustrated. I'm hurt. I'm confused. I'm like, is this how you operate? This is the way you move about the world? Because I'm not the girl that's going to sit back while you have frat boy joke moment. That's just not me.
All day long.
All day.
Right.
So he goes back to take a nap. I was given the option to either go get my own room or to go film as we had already planned. We had had a discussion with Joe that morning that we were filming that night. So he knew it was coming. I, of course, decided to go back. I'm like, oh, he's probably awake. I've been gone. He's been gone for 4 or 5 hours at this point. Like, I was there for a subsequent amount of time before I went back.
Yeah.
So I went back to check on him. He wakes up, you see that whole thing. There's actually a moment in there that you don't see, and he pops up and he's like, why are the cameras here? And he starts getting mad at me, actually.
Oh, God.
And to the point that my producer had to step in and be like, Joe, you knew we were filming tonight. And so then that goes down. And in between the whole fight, he's talking to production. So they're having to splice this in a really weird way. You even see him at one point when I'm sitting on the bathtub and I'm like, you're fucked up. And he's like, stop saying that. And he's like looking around for the camera. And it was like he was so concerned with how he was going to be perceived that he couldn't even just be in the moment with me. You know, I've handled drunk people before. Like, I know how to deal with people.
That was unusual.
Yeah. To say the least.
Yeah. So how we kind of see it end, but how did it end in like real life? How did that wrap up?
Yeah, okay, so you see us have that fight. I'm laying on the bed. He pops up to ask for dinner. It's like, oh, now you can get up after you've seen me cry out on the patio, which was whatever. What ended up happening is I grab my stuff, I walk out, and as they're getting me onto the golf cart to go to the other room, I'm like, wait a second, we're filming in the morning. Like, I'm a girl, I need my hair, my makeup, my clothes. Like, he's a guy, he can literally like roll out of bed.
Right.
So I actually went back in and was like, you get your own room, I'm staying in here.
Period.
Yeah, you go get your own room.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's how that went down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
Yeah, it was rough.
I mean, I hate this story, but I love that you.
I could
Yeah.
keep a little bit of
Got that little power.
Yeah.
So what went through your mind watching Joe's breakdown at the tux fitting?
I mean, mind you, I just watched that yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and I'm still processing that. That was deeply disturbing on a character level. The way that he treated his friends, the way that he treated the woman in the store.
That was crazy.
It was
crazy.
really,
Insane,
yeah. It was so disturbing to watch, and it's so hurtful to know that I had just had this beautiful moment with my family, with the girls. You know, I'm feeling excited.
And that's what's happening.
Yeah. And the fact that much more went down that night and nobody told me about it is crazy to me. So to actually see it back and to see some true character flaws come out, I dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During your breakup, Joe couldn't give you specific reasons as to what was missing in your relationship, and he still couldn't at the reunion.
Yeah.
If you had to guess, what would you say the reasoning was?
Because my larger physique. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally
Right.
joking. Because I know, actually, truly, I know that's not the case because we were intimate.
Yeah.
Because he's still having these moments of telling me, you're so beautiful. You're that. It just, I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
that was part of it. Maybe in some sense I'm not his typical type. That's fine. I think that it goes much deeper to his own brokenness. You know, I think, sure, do I have culpability in that I could have been more patient at times? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Was I acting out of character because this is such a crazy experience and I was in a very insecure space? Absolutely. I can't speak for him, you know, truly. I guess it's just we are very different people. You know, I think he needed to work on his EQ a little bit because we could not have any kind of conversation.
Yeah. Do you think he was ready for marriage?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think that he was ready for marriage. You know, you see me say this is for marriage-minded people. Like, you know what we signed up for. You know, I know he has commitment issues from his previous relationship, and you see my mom speak to that where she's like, okay, you just said that you backed out last minute. Like, are you going to blindside her? And that is ultimately what happened.
Right. Whew. It's like everything needs like a big exhale.
It's heavy.
Whew.
I know. It's a lot.
But we're here.
We're here.
It's over.
We're grounded.
Let's all take a deep exhale. Okay, and now let's bring you back. So we had the reunion.
Yes.
And I don't know, tell me how it was for you guys. What was the emotions, the feels? How was that for you guys?
Oh, I thought it was beautiful. First of all, like being outside was so different than what's typical.
Yeah, it was a beautiful venue.
Yeah, so I loved that.
Yeah.
But I think overall it was intense. Like there was a lot going on. Even things that weren't mine felt intense to me. So I know everybody was going through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, all day yesterday was an emotional roller coaster because there was this kind of anticipation in the air for me because I hadn't seen Joe, I hadn't talked to him. There was no back and forth about this. Like this was truly like raw emotion for me and for him, like coming on to that because we hadn't talked at all. I had a panic attack yesterday, pulled it back together. You know, I kind of am like, okay, like I'm gonna go speak my truth and leave it all out there, try to get the answers that I need and move on. It was hard. It was definitely hard. I was very nervous. Ultimately, though, I feel like I got the closure that I needed because I can just accept, like, I'm not going to get a full sentence from him. And I can release that at this point. We did have a conversation. I don't know if you guys actually will see it, but we had a conversation when we were all standing up and the ice cream had come out. And I went up to him because he had tried to talk to me by the bathrooms. And I just told him that, you know, I'm sorry that I wasn't more patient. Like watching it back, I see some of my own flaws and I'm sorry that I didn't show up for you. And he did ultimately apologize again for, you know, the eating disorder and just the comments on my body. And I think that's as good as it's going to get. You know, I can say that I'm moving forward without animosity, but I don't necessarily want him in my orbit.
Yeah, understood. And had you seen Anton prior to last night?
I hadn't.
Did you guys speak at all?
No.
Really?
I said hi to him when he was standing behind me before we got on stage, but that was really the extent of it.
Interesting. And was there any like moments that was like shocking to you guys at the reunion? Like, did anything happen where you're like,
I think Megan's like pregnancy or like child announcement
her
was my
baby?
biggest like.
Yeah.
I actually did know about it.
You did?
Yeah, but
It's so crazy because like Megan and I were pretty like decently close
Yeah.
after everything. But I think she really was just trying to keep it so tight and like
Yeah.
keep it under wraps, you know.
Did
and I
she
think-
tell you, or did you find out via DM?
no, I just found out like through the Denver rumor mill. I mean, it
Really?
was literally like somebody came to me
Yeah.
and was like, "Oh, I met Megan's nanny," and I was like, "What?" I actually was like, "There's no way that's not
That's
right."
crazy.
Did
I
you reach
know.
out to her about it, or you just kind
No,
of
no,
let
I
it
was
go?
like, that's her business. You
Yeah.
know, like I'm not gonna. It's not mine to share or talk
Yeah.
about unless she
Yeah.
wants to.
Yeah.
I'm so disconnected from like the rumor mill. I'm just like in my own little corner.
Mhm.
under
Girl,
my little
somehow
rug.
That's the
I
best
end up
way to
with all the
be.
tea.
Really?
I swear to God, everybody comes to me with the tea. I'm like,
That's so funny.
nobody
No.
asked. I
Yeah.
did not ask.
Yeah.
No, I'm the last to find out always.
Really? I'm
Like-
kind of like that too. I'm like, what? I'm
Yeah.
always so oblivious.
Yeah.
Madison, it was revealed that Joe and Casey dated after your split. When did you first learn about this, and what was your reaction?
Well, I don't know if we can call it dating.
Yeah.
First of all,
What was going on?
I think they were mutually using each other's bodies. That's what I think was going
Oh.
on. But
Okay.
how did I find out? I heard through-
You're a comedian, by the way. Just so we're clear, you're fucking hilarious.
Thank you. It doesn't always land.
No, it's gonna land here every time. You're funny. Okay.
I first found out, honestly, I guess last summer, but I knew that it started probably a month after our engagement ended.
A month
Probably a month.
through like the rumor mill, or you just
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's alleged. I don't know exactly
Okay.
the timeline. I can't totally speak to it. But I do know that the night of tux fittings, we had gone to One Up, and it was like me, a few other couples, and then a bunch of singles showed up. I don't even know how they knew where we were. Casey was one of them. And as I'm standing there talking to his friends that were at the tux fitting, I'm telling them, like, I got my dress. I'm showing pictures of my dress. I'm telling them, like, I love him. I'm so excited. Like, I really want to see this through. And as I'm standing there with a ring on my finger, I look over and Casey has both hands on Joe's chest talking to him. In Joe's words, he said, she was giving me googly eyes. That is what he said that night. And we ended up going to Jensen's house. We hung out there, and then we went back to the hotel. All the while, they're letting me talk like this, knowing full well that he had stormed out. He knows full well that he stormed out. He should have said, hey, production, we need to film tonight. We're not going out. We're not delaying this. Let's have this conversation now. You know, I want to make it very clear that Joe is the one that was at fault for this. He was the one that had a responsibility to me. While I think Casey's actions were disrespectful, she's not the one that owed loyalty to me. You know, woman to woman, not a great look. But yeah, so I don't know if it started actually then or if it started later.
Yeah. You and Casey seem to disagree on how your conversation went at Mike's pool party. What really happened at the pool party? It seemed messy
that
for
pool
many
party.
different reasons.
Damn pool party. So
What happened?
I will tell you. So I was standing in a group. Casey came to the party. You know, she's making around saying hello to people. She came up to a group of us girls, and I was asking her, like, how's wedding season going? You know, I already know about her and Joe thing. I said, how's dating going? And she was like, oh, you know, good. And I was like, yeah, how's Joe?
Ooh.
And she was like, oh, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. I'm like, all right, like, let's talk. Like,
Mhm.
you know, truly,
Yeah.
like, I really do want to hear you out. So we go sit down. There is no recognition of the fact that you're talking to his ex-fiance.
Yeah.
She immediately starts talking to me about how he treated her poorly. She went so far to say, oh, we're Eskimo sisters to me.
Whew.
And I said to her, you know, I'm going to say to your face what I've been saying.
Yeah.
I don't respect your choice.
Yeah.
The way that you've gone about this has been classless, and it does hurt me. So to me, it was kind of like, I'm not sure how she's gauging that to be a good conversation. It wasn't bad. It's not like we were yelling at each other, but it was kind of just like, okay, well, I said my piece, you said your
Yeah.
piece. You know, she's like telling me like all the things that he's doing, and I'm like, girl, like, too bad we weren't friends. I could have,
I could have spared you.
right?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. It was just the whole interaction to me just felt really tasteless.
Yeah. When you and Joe broke up on the show, you asked him if it had anything to do with other cast members. Were you referring to Casey in that moment?
I was. Yeah, I was referring to the story of the night of the dress and tux fittings.
We also learned that you and Joe connected after your breakup and had a makeout session.
Yeah.
What was that about?
With tears.
With tears. The weirdest.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. Well, so, about 2 weeks after filming, I was like, I want to clear the air here. I want to maybe get some clarity. I'm thinking, okay, cameras aren't around. Maybe he'll actually like open up and like give me some answers. So we go to get drinks. It wasn't even dinner. We just go to get drinks. We talk. There's no answers. I'm not really... Same kind of thing that you see in all of our conversations.
Yeah.
Like, there's not any substance.
There's not a complete sentence.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're leaving. We go into the parking garage. Like, he walks me in my car. We're saying goodbye. We give each other hugs. We kiss. We kind of start making out. And then, like, he stops. He's like, sorry, I shouldn't have done that. And he starts, like, tearing up. And I'm like, why are you crying?
Yeah,
like, you
what
ended
happened?
this.
Right.
Like, what? So I texted him after I left, and I was like, part of me almost wanted you to like come back here so we could like talk. And he's like, I totally would have. And then I was like, why did you start crying? Literally the text said, I don't know, that was weird. And so I responded, let's play a game. Name that emotion. No response. And that was the last text that we sent.
Really? Did you want more?
No, I didn't. I think at that point, my gut knew, and my gut knew the whole time, and I should have listened to it. I should have listened to my intuition, but I definitely did not want more. Would I like answers and clarity?
Yeah.
Maybe, but I've accepted that like I'm not going to get that, and that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, how much more could you want after that, honestly? It's a little scary.
The whole thing was scary.
Yeah.
It was really confusing, the entire relationship.
No, I can imagine.
I felt crazy.
Like, even like beyond the editing, do you feel like we got a good gist of what was happening? Or was it overly edited?
No, I wouldn't say it's overly edited. I would say you don't get to see why I kept staying.
Yeah.
Like, people are asking me, like, girl, why didn't you leave after the pool party? I'm like, what you don't see is, like, I was being what I now know to be breadcrumbed through this whole thing. It was like, I wouldn't have stayed just to stay. I was getting moments of connection where he's like, I want to marry you. I mean, like, I even say, like, he was saying to me, I want to get you pregnant. Like, how confusing for me when I'm like, wow, like, you're really in this then. Like, you really do want to do this. And then all of a sudden you act like this. And it's like, whoa, wait, what? Like, I was constantly kind of on eggshells and being surprised by his behavior.
Yeah, I feel that. So, Ali, at the reunion, we learned that you never confronted Anton about what his girlfriend told you in the bathroom about strip clubs and his partying and stuff. Why do you think you never brought that up?
I don't know. I don't know how we could have not had that conversation, but I really don't remember having it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was just like the exhaustion.
You don't remember having what conversation? The bathroom conversation?
No, like discussing it after, having that actual talk of like, what's this strip club situation actually look like? I have like faint memory at some point in person talking to him, like, yeah, I used to go to strip clubs, I don't anymore, kind of situation, but I really don't remember like after that scenario being like, hey, let's talk about this. I think it was like our schedules. I think it was just being so overwhelmed with everything that I kind of just like slipped through the cracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you.
No, because I'm saying, if that is like such a, like, if that is like a deal breaker.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Like, I totally get it. I'm like, I don't know how we avoided that conversation.
Yeah. Do you think had you had the conversation and he had time to clear things up, things would be different? Or you just kind of went off observed behavior?
I think I was really just observing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was so much more than just the strip clubs. And in my eyes, truthfully, even if it would have been, we were at strip clubs 4 months ago, to me, in my faith, a man who's going to strip clubs just isn't all ready to be married. So
do you think she was telling the truth? Or do you think Anton was right when he said that she didn't know him and she was looking for a 15 minutes?
No, I feel like that would be a very hard 15 minutes for her to get. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's anything for her to grasp at there. I do believe her. I don't know why she would have like stirred the pot. You know, it felt like a genuine concern in her mind.
And like private in the bathroom.
Right.
Like
Exactly. And
yeah.
like normally our mics get turned off when we go to the bathroom. So like learning that they weren't off in that bathroom situation, I was kind of like, oh, what else do you guys hear? Like,
True.
but
Me crying into towels every 5 seconds.
so it was kind of like, oh, okay. So like they heard me pee, but also like, shit, they heard that private conversation, you know?
Yeah.
And we are told, like, yeah, your mic's off when you're in the bathroom. So I don't think she was grasping for fame. I do believe her and her concern. And I think through that dinner, you can kind of tell that, like, Joe is a party guy. You know, you can tell he wants the drinks and, like, he wants to go out. And he even says, like, oh, she's going to hate me. Like, I don't think that's a good outlook for, like, your fiance's friend to have.
Yeah.
Like that shouldn't be on your radar at all. Like you should be trying to like have me like you as much as possible.
Yeah. Are they still together? Do you know?
They're not.
They're not.
No.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any relationship with the girl at all?
I don't know what happened between them. I know they're no longer together. But that's the extent of my info.
Okay. You also mentioned that you felt like you and Anton didn't have enough serious conversations outside of the pods, and he claimed that you did off camera, and you said the opposite. Can you tell me more about that?
I mean, we did have a little bit of like conversations off camera. We generally had our more serious conversations off camera. But anything that was discussed was always like me initiating any sort of discussion, and it was like pulling teeth to get him to really say anything. Like from my perspective, it almost felt like he was scared to say the wrong thing, to not like deter me from like moving forward. I just don't feel like he really had much of an opinion through any of our discussions.
Yeah.
Which was hard.
He admitted that he was feeling anxious and nervous in front of cameras, and that he used drinking to help with this during the process. What are your thoughts on that?
I understand, you know, being nervous and in front of cameras and anxious, it's a lot. Especially, you know, not being used to it. It's very new to all of us. I get it. I empathize, but also like what a horrible coping mechanism. Like you have a partner to lean on, you have your friends, you have your family, like so many other different ways to cope. And like life is so stressful. Marriage is going to be so hard. If that's what you're turning to cope every time something hard happens, like, I don't know, like we need to talk about that. That's a concern.
Do you think it was coping, or do you think it was kind of a lifestyle that was already set and then the cameras just kind of highlighted?
Yeah, I think it was 1,000% lifestyle. And like some of the public has shared too, like, well, Anton wasn't the only one that was drinking a lot. Like obviously there was a lot.
But you weren't engaged to everyone else.
Right, exactly. Right. There was a lot of drinks flowing everywhere. I was drunk through certain things. Like I'm not saying I didn't have anything to drink, but in situations where like we're at an event, of course, we're celebrating, of course. But if you're coming home from work and drinking, like that's where kind of my issues started.
Yeah.
So that's
At
more
7
lifestyle.
a.m.?
Right.
That's intense.
Yeah.
And
it's
think
like
it's the thing that's hard though is that's him getting off work. Like it's like you think about people getting off work and it's like they have a glass of wine. You know what I mean? And I think it's like,
but that's like a Friday thing.
Yeah.
Potentially. Like maybe some days if you're like you've had a really bad day, of course have a glass of wine on your Wednesday. But it was a habit. It wasn't like I'm coming home to de-stress. I just had a really hard day. It was like this is my habit, this is my routine. I come home, I have a few beers, I go to bed. It's like no.
Yeah. Understandable.
Yeah.
You know what you want. So this is for both of you guys. Looking back, is there anything you would have done differently?
I would have listened to my intuition. You know, looking back, I would have really leaned in on who I know of myself, leaned into my character, and not allowed myself to get pulled out of character quite as much. You know, it's a hard thing to go through. I think no matter what, you're going to have moments that you're like, oh, like, why was I like that? But I think in general, just listening to my intuition a little bit more instead of following the hope.
Yeah. I feel like I get that a lot. A lot of women are like, after these experiences, like, I should have listened to myself.
Yeah.
Because it's what's got us this far.
Yeah.
And then we get into these situations or with these men, and all of a sudden it's like the voice inside, we mute it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think I've heard that a lot, and I've felt that personally. So I get it. What about you?
I think I would have just had more conversations on camera, honestly. It feels like lack of context again. You know, like we should have just discussed these things when it would have been heard.
Yeah.
Same with me. There's like so many things that I'm like, damn, like our actual breakup happened off camera, you know? But then like you see us kind of dragging it on. I know what you mean, where it's just like, I wish there was a little bit more context.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel closure? Do we feel okay? Are we happy? Like, where are we now? Post reunion, show is aired. Where are we now?
Honestly, like I woke up this morning post reunion just feeling so at peace. Like the anticipation of having to do the reunion, having to have that confrontation has kind of been looming for a year and a half. And I think at this point, I'm just like, okay, you know, I said my piece. I took my accountability. That's the best I can do for my side of things. And I can release and forgive for the sake of not poisoning myself anymore.
And you feel you got your closure?
I don't think I got my questions answered,
Yeah.
but I think that I am able to create that closure for myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. What about you?
I agree. Yeah, I'm excited to just like move on with life, you know? Like I'm excited for like the year ahead. I'm excited to graduate and like have my nurse practitioner's degree complete and like have that whole chapter behind me. So yeah, things are looking up.
Do you guys have any big takeaways that you would say happened for you this season or from watching or anything?
You know, I think a huge takeaway for me is being able to love myself in my entirety, like being able to share about my eye condition, being able to show the parts of me that maybe are a little bit messy and know that I can still be loved for that. You know, it's like I found love in the pods in ways I didn't expect, in my friendships, in the way that I found love for myself. You know, just overall, it was such an incredible experience. And like, I'm just so thankful for having done it.
What about you, Allie?
I think my biggest takeaway is just like being comfortable with knowing what you want, you know? It's okay to want different things than other people, and like sometimes it's just not your match.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. I really am happy to see you guys sitting here because I did love your season. How did I describe your season?
You said, oh gosh, I'm like, it's messy. You
Dumpster
said,
fire.
Yeah, you said it. No, you said it really cute. You're like, that's one way to put it. You said,
It was just like, it was a lot. And
yeah.
especially compared to other seasons, you never know what to expect. Would you guys say that is a good depiction of Denver, of what's happening?
It feels like a failure since we didn't have any marriages. That's like my
That's
thing.
the
I'm
thing,
like,
no.
as a
dang
Colorado
it, guys.
native, like I don't want people to think that Denver and Colorado is just like terrible. Like truly, like it's such a great place, and like I think any place has its own mess, you know. Like don't judge ours.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I just want to thank you guys again for coming and spending time with me. And again, you guys are stunning, beautiful ladies, and I'm sure wherever this path leads you, it will be successful for each and every one of you. So thank you for joining me. Of course. And thank you guys for joining me for another episode of What's the Reality. Be sure to follow us on all social platforms at What's the Reality Pod, and I will see you next Wednesday.
What's the reality? What's the reality?